A particle is projected from a point on horizontal ground. So most of us went for the formulas of Doom like we always do. Okay, we don't know what U is, do we? No, agreed? So it's angle alpha, yeah? And it undergoes, you throw it up and then it comes back down and it lands. You happy enough with that? Okay. Not a question you've seen dozens of times at this stage, yeah? Standard setup. Now, I'm doing nothing fancy. See the U and see the sine alpha and see the cos alpha? See U, sine alpha, cos alpha? Must mean I'm using those letters. This is going to be U cos alpha because it's the adjacent, and this is U sine alpha because it's the opposite. We're now going to run our system phi x, phi y, sx, and sy, and we're not going to do anything fancy. What's phi x? Phi y, u sine a minus gt sx. Anybody? Ut cos alpha. You can look at any of my videos and you're going to see this nearly every time. There's no R's, there's no crazy stuff going on. All right, and now sy. Ut, what's it? Sine alpha minus a half gt squared. Now I can read the question. Okay, now I can go. The range is R. Okay, so see this red line? That red line is R. That red line occurs when the sy equals 0. Yeah? This blue line is the maximum height. And what's the maximum height? R over 4 root 3. And this occurs when phi y equals 0. That's what you're forgetting. Maximum height occurs when phi y equals 0. So here's what I do. Okay, put phi y equal to 0 or put sy equal to 0 and have your answer. Whatever you want. Okay? There's two different times. There's the time it takes to reach the greatest height and there's the time it takes to land. Do you understand? And I can use either route. I can do phi y equals 0 or I can do sy equals 0. But one of them has to equal 0. We got it? Right. A lot of you didn't do that. So what we're going to say is u sine alpha, bring over the gt. And then also we're going to say is that t equals u sine alpha all over g. Which one is that again? Is that for the range or the greatest height? When Vy equals 0. It's the greatest height. That's the time it takes to the greatest height. Therefore, what's the time of flight for the range? It's symmetrical, isn't it? So I can just multiply it by 2. And you get 2u sine alpha all over g. Does everybody, we'll pause here. I'm after the range. See the range? That's what I'm after. So I'm after the sx value using the time of flight. Because remember, that's the full thing. So see that t value there? I just got to replace it with what's the yellow part with the yellow part. And we're good. So here's what's going to happen. And as I said, easy marks on board here. 2, it's ut, so it's going to be u times what, guys? U times 2u sine alpha all over g. And then what else? Cos alpha, yeah? What do we get now? 2u squared sine alpha cos alpha all over g. And that's part 1 done. Now, next thing. Find the value of alpha. Value singular, not value plural. Great. Next thing. It says the height, maximum height is r over 4 root 3. So here's what we're thinking. What I'm thinking is, I see sy. See sy? Sy is r over 4 root 3. At what time? What time does that happen? The greatest height. Does the greatest height happen at the red line Or does it happen at this blue one here? It's the blue one, isn't it? Because it takes half the amount of time, right? So we're going to sub it in. We're going to sub it into the xy equation. Anywhere I see what letter again? Anywhere I see t, what's it going to get replaced with? U sine alpha over g. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so that's u. To be fair, there's a small bit of this one's slightly harder, but nothing crazy. Okay, so it's going to be u times what? U times u sine alpha over g. We can just sort of just multiply the u by the u and just get u squared sine. Oh, sorry, I won't do that. One sec. U times u sine alpha over g. Yeah. There's a t. That's a t gone, isn't it? And then there's a sine alpha here. Yeah. Minus a half. What now? G. Yeah. And what do I have to do with my time? Square it. So I'm going to square it. So I'm going to square the u to get u squared. Square the sine to get sine squared over g squared. We all good? Now, something start to cancel here, okay? So what do we get here? We get u squared. Sorry, see this part from earlier. It's going to make it really small. You could, but I'd have to multiply both sides by 2. See the r over 4 root 3. Because if you multiply both sides by 2, it's no longer the range. It's twice. Sorry, it's no longer the greatest height. It's twice the greatest height. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, sorry, I'm just going to put that in green over here. Okay. Now, let's do this. It's u squared sine squared alpha over g minus what? U squared sine squared alpha over. Now, you've seen me do this in the past, haven't you? Not your first time seeing this. What do I do, top and bottom? Then what's the answer? U squared sine squared all over 2g. Now I'm going to go for a pause here. Good questions. This g cancels with that g there. Okay. All right. Now, does everybody agree that it's r over 4 root 3? Everybody agree with that? Okay. And for argument's sake, I'm just going to get rid of the 4 root 3 up here. Yeah, is that all right with you guys? Just going to slot the 4 root 3 up here. We all good with that? Now, what I'm going to get rid of, what am I going to do with that r? What am I going to change the r into? We have it over here, don't we? So what's that? 2u squared sine alpha cos alpha all over g equals u squared sine squared alpha all over 2g. Now what now? Comes to the g's. Oh, wait. I did something weird. I forgot the 4 root 3, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. See this 2 on the side? See this 2 here? What happens when I link it up with this 2? Turns into a 4. And then what can I do with that 4 and this 4? Cancel. We all good? What happens to the u squareds? The u squareds? Cancel, right? And what am I left with now? Sine alpha cos alpha equals root 3 what? So what you tell me to do? Cancel one of the signs, you mean? Because sine squared alpha is sine alpha twice, right? Gone. But what's next then? Bring the cos alpha underneath there. Sine alpha. And what do I do with the root 3? Bring it underneath the 1. And change that into tan inverse, please. 30 degrees. Okay. Anytime, so if I had what's a good way of doing it? 1x equals 5, right? You would know the answer for x has to be 5 then, wouldn't you? What happens when you bring the x underneath? What's left over? See the way I said something equals 5 over x? You have to leave 1 behind because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So when I brought the cos alpha underneath, you have to leave 1 behind. So it could be 1 sine alpha cos alpha. Is that right?